Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So this last weekend, this weekend before now, was Capitol Pride in the DC area. And some synagogues celebrate Pride Shabbat around this time, different Shabbatot throughout this month. And so a few members of our community asked me, are we doing Pride Shabbat? And I answered seriously and jokingly at the same time, every Shabbat is Pride Shabbat for me. And I do take pride seriously. I am a lesbian, I'm your rabbi, and so I mean it when I say that every Shabbat is Pride Shabbat for me. And I am continuously working to cultivate pride in myself and in people across the whole spectrum of gender and sexuality, including every single person in this room. I am proud of who you are. I am proud of your kindness, of your warmth, your depth, your compassion, your commitment to be in it together as a community. I am proud of Bethel's history. We are just in a couple of weeks after the 10th yahrzeit of Rabbi Sam Skolnick, Zichrono Livracha, our community's first rabbi. And I am so proud of the enormous potential in our future together. So to review, for me, it's always pride, and I don't take for granted this special time in the month of June. As a community, I hope we also don't take pride for granted. Rather, we bring an intentionality. We bring a marking of this time. So how do we do this? How do we mark pride together? A friend asked me recently how to respond to her 7-year-old niece, who asked, in the way that 7-year-olds ask questions that are just so perfect, well, I understand it's pride, but what do we do? What do we do? If it's a meaningful holiday, if it's a special time, there have to be things that we do. That is a fair question. Many LGBTQ people and allies celebrate pride in different ways, some by displaying rainbow flags, some by participating in a march, or by gathering with family and friends to celebrate. And these observances are only part of the answer I would offer to this 7-year-old child. How do we celebrate pride? As Jews, we have a gorgeous model for how to celebrate pride in our Jewish identity. For example, what do we do for Hanukkah to celebrate our pride in being Jews? I saw this motion. I think lighting. We light the Chanukiah. We put the menorah in the windowsill so that we can publicize the miracle, the Forsei Matanes. We do this for the 8 days of light, using a 9-branch menorah rather. A 7-branch menorah, the one with 3 on each side, is an ancient Jewish symbol that recalls the menorah that stood in the temple. And this continues to be a distinctly Jewish symbol to this day, from Jewish art to architecture to even the Israeli shekel coins that have the ancient menorah. And in the first words of this week's Parsha, in 2 verses, the menorah teaches exactly what is my goal for us for celebrating pride. How can we celebrate each other? Moses is instructed to speak to Aaron and say to him, when you mount the lamps. Beha'alotcha et hanerot, let the 7 lamps give light at the front of the menorah, of this 7-pronged candelabra that stood in the temple. And Aaron did so. He mounted the lamps at the front of the menorah, as God had commanded Moses. This imagery of Aaron lifting up the lamps, reaching to lift up light itself, is exactly what we do for pride. We find ways to lift up the light, to grow our pride in ourselves and in each other. In a way, pride is for LGBTQ people, yes. And also, as I've said, we can all do pride. We can all grow our pride. So I'm going to ask you to do something a little vulnerable. To take a few moments, maybe we'll say 15 seconds, to try, and we can't force feelings to happen, but to try to feel pride in ourselves, each of us, to try to evoke that emotion of pride. I am proud of myself because. And now, I want us to try to feel pride for someone else. It could be someone in the room, it could be someone not in the room, to feel proud of someone else for something about who they are, something that they have done. And I'm going to do it too. Now, if your person is in the room, I invite you to tell them why you're proud of them. I'm okay with the noise. Someone will do it first. I see it happening. Tell them why you're proud of them. A lot of pride in the room. I can feel it. Please keep sharing if you are sharing with someone. I'll share that allowing myself to feel pride is allowing myself to breathe. I breathe in and I breathe out. Quieting criticism, loudening care, quieting defensiveness, loudening confidence, quieting fear, loudening security, quieting judgment, loudening love. So the answer of how do we do pride is we feel proud. Thank you for joining me in doing pride as we lift up the light in each other, just as Aaron lifted the light of the menorah in ancient times, and we still do today. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom. Happy Pride. We continue with Chatzi Kaddish, page 184.